First, remove the ultrasonic scalpel by pushing it out with your fingers through the hole in the back. The power cord is connected to the generator and the socket in turn. The power cord is connected to the generator and the socket in turn. Insert the transducer connection cable by aligning the red dot with the red dot of the generator's port. To remove the transducer, hold the non-slip ring behind the mark with your fingers and slowly and firmly pull the transducer connector out of the generator. Note: end installation. Removal process to prevent the transducer fall and collision with hard objects. Except for the absence of special circumstances, you can choose to not unplug the transducer cable from the generator at the end of the procedure. Pick up the scalpel vertically. Insert the transducer into the back end of the ultrasonic scalpel. Hold the handle and transducer with one hand. The other hand clockwise rotate the round dial in the front of the handle. After the dial is not moving, rotate the gray torque wrench clockwise, and then hear the click-click to sounds, indicating that the transducer and the scalpel connection is complete. Remove the gray torque wrench by pressing the handle trigger to close the jaw. After powering on the generator, it automatically enters into the self-test mode. Press any button min or max to pass the self-test. Release the button after passing the self-test. If the generator has been connected to the Rebirth knife, you can also step on the foot pedal to pass the self-test, and release the foot pedal after the self-test passes. Test max, min and ADV mode, respectively. Press the 3 buttons. The generator should different working sound, indicating that the 3 modes work properly. The max button corresponds to level 5, mainly used for rapid cutting of tissues containing small amounts of capillaries and cutting of vessels after completion of coagulation and other procedures. The min button corresponds to level 1 to 4, mainly used for coagulation of blood vessels 5 mm and below, and cutting of capillary-rich tissue and other procedures. The min button is adjusted on the screen. The lower the setting, the slower the speed, and the better the coagulation effect. The corresponding mode when the ADV key activated is the advanced cutting and coagulation mode, which is unique to us. The corresponding mode when the ADV key activated is the advanced cutting and coagulation mode, which is unique to us. The working surface is mainly used for clamping, coagulation, cutting, coagulation of blood vessels. Use the min or ADV mode to seal twice on the proximal end and once on the distal end. The sealing duration for each application should be a few seconds, depending on the vessel diameter and wall thickness. When the coagulation is completed, use min to cut off the closed area of the blood vessel. When using the working surface for cutting, the operation should be carried out in accordance with the rule of 3 through rule, i.e. 2/3 clamping and triangular pulling. When the jaws of the cutter head clamp the tissue to be cut, the first 2/3 of the working surface should be used to clamp the tissue. If the clamping is too full, it will affect the cutting effect and the life of the cutter head. When cutting tissue or sealing blood vessels, the tip should be slightly upturned to create a triangular tissue tension at the point to be cut. If you need to remove the ultrasonic scalpel, press the trigger to close the jaw. Insert the gray torque wrench into the bottom of the shaft. Hold the scalpel handle and transducer with one hand and turn the torque wrench counterclockwise to remove the ultrasonic scalpel. Note that the removal or installation of the ultrasonic scalpel should be carried out in the state of the generator shutdown. In the process of surgery, installation, removal, cleaning and sterilization, please do not contact with metal, bone tissue and other hard objects so as not to break the scalpel.